Welcome to this edition of Rick and Bubba University, the podcast. We're thankful that you are here. Bubba, today we are going to have a blast because we're talking about America's pastime, and we're going to be interviewing a man who says, look, I'm glad it's America's pastime, but we're dealing with a generation of people that think that baseball moves way too slow.
You know, Rick, I'm not a fan of change just for change's sake.
Right.
But I am a fan of taking things, breaking them apart, looking at them, and going, how can we make this better? And that's what Jesse Cole has done with his invention, Banana Ball.
He is the founder of Fans First Entertainment. He's owner of the Savannah Bananas. And Jesse joins us on Rick and Bubba University. Jesse, how you doing, buddy?
Fired up to be with you guys.
Let's talk about this. Take everybody. Maybe there's people watching this or listening to this that may have never heard of you. They don't know what we're talking about. So tell us how we came up with Banana Ball.
Well, it always starts with a question. You know, for us, we've been watching baseball for a long time. And, you know, the Savannah Bananas started as just a college summer baseball team playing in Savannah, Georgia. Professional baseball was there for 90 years at this stadium. Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, they all played here. And no one was coming to games. Literally, the minor league team had a couple hundred fans coming to the game. They left. And we as a college summer team came to Savannah, Georgia with the hopes of making baseball more fun. And I don't know if you guys know the story, but we only sold 2 tickets in our first 3 months. I mean, it was bad.
Oh,
it was bad. And so, by January of 2016, we got a phone call. We overdrafted our account. My wife and I were completely out of money. The team was out of money. So we sold our house, emptied our savings account, and we're sleeping on an airbed just 5 years ago. And we knew we had to make something dramatically different. So with our collegiate team, we said, it's going to be a circus. We're going to be named the team after a fruit. We're going to have a senior citizen dance team called the Banana Nanas. We're going to have a male cheerleading team called the Man-Anas. Our players are going to do choreographed dances. We're going to have a break dancing first base coach, and we're going to make it an absolute circus. And with that, we made every ticket all inclusive, all your food, everything, burgers, hot dogs, chicken sandwiches, soda, water for $18. We eliminated ticket fees, convenience fees. We eliminated all of our advertising for our ballpark because we wanted to be fans first. And what happened, long story short, is every single game sold out, waiting list in the thousands to see this college team. And I noticed something at every game. Even though every game sold out, my wife and I now have a real bed, which is a big, big accomplishment for us. I look in the crowd, and every night, no matter if the games are sold out, there's scalpers outside. Fans were leaving the games early. And my question for most people is, when was the last time you went to a great event, pre-COVID, or a great movie? In the middle of the movie or the middle of the event, you say, oh, that was good. I'm going to leave now. It doesn't happen. Yet in baseball games, fans were leaving early and early. So we said, the game has to be faster. It is too long, too slow, too boring for too many people. And so we said, let's try something new. And we invented a new game, and we took it on the road, took the show on the road, and it was an amazing journey over the last month.
So now you've kind of moved from the arena of promotions and having a good atmosphere in a stadium to actually changing the game and the rules of baseball, which have been around for a long time. And quite frankly, anything that's been around that long may need an adjustment here and there, and they've been a few over the years. But kind of run down the rules of Banana Ball for everybody.
Well, again, it starts with a problem. So if the game's too long, too slow, too boring, how do you make it faster?
Right.
And then look at all the parts in a baseball game that are boring and make them more exciting. And all the parts that are fun, add to them.
Right.
So the first thing we said was like, all right, 3 hours, 4 hours too long. Let's just put a 2-hour time limit on it. Bam, 2-hour time limit. So we said, we're going to do that first. Then we said, well, what if we made every inning more interesting, more exciting? And we started coming up with the ideas. We said, well, what if every inning counts? In the sense, the best play in baseball, the most exciting is the walk-off win at the end, the walk-off hit, the walk-off homer. So we said, what if that could happen every inning? And so whoever wins an inning gets a point. And so first team to 5 points wins the game. So basically what happens is the home team, if the visitor scores 1 run in the first, but the home team get guys on second and third, base hit, walk-off, huge celebration. The Bananas have won the inning. And it goes 1-0. So that was the first idea. And we kept asking those questions. We said, all right, well, how do we involve our fans? What if a fan caught a foul ball? Could that be an out? And we asked that question.
I love that.
Bring them up. Yeah.
which actually happened in the last game, which was amazing. But they caught a bananas player ball, and so the fans were booing him like crazy. It was a very Steve Bartman episode again.
So wait a minute. If you're the home team, you don't want to catch the foul balls if your team is batting. But if it's the opponent team, you do want to catch it.
100%. Except this guy saw a ball coming towards him, and he just caught it. He wasn't thinking about it.
Oh no!
Yeah,
we
talked,
Steve Bartman.
We talked about that on air, and that's the first thing we said. It feels like Steve Bartman. It's like, did he start apologizing? I'm sorry, Banana fans. I didn't know what I was doing.
Did he get pelted?
I'm not accustomed to this. I should have slapped it down. Did he try to get the crowd back on his side?
He immediately, I was walking through the concourse, and all of a sudden I heard the whole stadium booing, like really loud booing. I was like, what happened? Did our coach get thrown out? So I run out there, and they're all booing this man. And I'm like, oh no. But it ended up being, he got interviewed by the media. He was actually kind of a celebrity in the ballpark because he impacted the game, even though it was in a negative way. So he walked out being the first fan ever to catch a foul ball for an out. So I think he's okay with that. The ball will go in our Bananas Hall of Fame, I'll tell you that. But yeah, that's one rule. But other rules, you can steal first. Why not? If ball goes away at any point, pass ball, you can take off to first. We had a bunch of guys steal first over the last month. The most boring play in baseball is a walk. So boring. So we said, let's make it fun. So what happens, it's called a sprint. So as soon as that fourth ball hits, the hitter takes off full speed. The catcher throws the ball to the third baseman generally, and it has to go to every position player on the field before it's live, while the hitter is advancing to as many bases.
Oh my God!
So when you say position, are you talking like third base, second, shortstop, then to first, or just third base, second base, then to first?
All 7 position players. So it started with the pitcher, went to the catcher, then everybody has to touch.
Oh, so but you can do that in any order you want to, as long as everybody catches it and throws it?
Yeah, I've seen strategy from the teams. A lot of times the outfielders will sprint in, and so they can shuffle it around. But it's obviously an automatic double. We've had triples, and we did have one inside the park home run because they threw the ball away. So it's pretty exciting.
So with these changes, it's still baseball in that you have a baseball and a bat and position players, but it's totally different in that you can't really look away because you'll miss something.
That's the whole idea. That's the mindset. And that's one of the things I noticed watching Major League Baseball games. You have hitters step out of the batter's box. It takes 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Right. If you step out of the batter's box, it's a strike. So the batters are in the box, and we don't want you to have to blink. We want you to be able to see all the action. And I think it's kind of going the opposite way of baseball. You get to really take your time. You can talk to your friends. We want the action to be so exciting that you want more. And so that's what we're trying to create. And so those are some of the rules. No bunting also. And then the one-on-one showdown at the end of the game has been really changed extra innings dramatically.
Now explain that part.
That's evolved. So the idea came from a pitcher way back in the day, Rube Waddell. And he was actually as good as Cy Young. He had unbelievable strikeout records, wins, but he was a partier, a drinker. He would go into the stands and take drinks from fans and start drinking. He would chase fire trucks during games. He was crazy. It was in the major league games. He was crazy. And some games he was a showman. He would say, "Nah, we don't need you guys." And he'd pull his whole team off the field and say, I got these hitters. And he would go one-on-one against the hitter and strike him out. And I was like, that's the ultimate level of showmanship. And for us, we teach our players, bat flips. We teach our players to celebrate. We want that. And so I love the showmanship. So I said, in soccer, you have the penalty kick. It's one of the most exciting, I remember the U.S. Women's Olympic team, Brandy Chastain and a big kick, and she won. It was so exciting. Well, what if that happened in baseball? Instead of just saying, hey, let's play more baseball. Everyone says free baseball. Is anyone really excited for free baseball at the 4-hour limit? And so now it's basically the rule is it's pitcher versus hitter. We did make one change. We added one fielder that has to be behind the mound to make it a little closer. And the hitter has to score. So basically what happens, and we've had this happen in almost every game, a hitter will hit the ball into the outfield. The fielder will take off full speed, and there'll end up being a play at the plate to potentially say, is he safe or is he out? And it's unbelievably exciting. But basically that's the goal, is say the pitcher's either going to win or the hitter's going to win, and there's action involved.
So you would only do that if the score was tied, right?
Oh, that's a good question. Only if a team has not reached 5.
Okay.
So you have to get to 5. So it could be 3-2.
Right.
It could be 4-2, and then it goes the first team to 5 points wins.
Right.
So every game that we've done has gone to a showdown.
So if you don't do that, you have a showdown at the end.
Correct.
And every game has gone to a showdown.
Every game, yeah, except for the first test game. The first test game we played a 9-inning game in an hour and 39 minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
So these rules are being implemented in a summer league that has college players playing. Is that correct?
No, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to break the rules for NCAA. So this is only for we formed two professional teams, Globetrotter style, except they're competitive. There's no Washington Generals.
Right, I got you.
And so that's where the future of the Bananas is. We're going to be taking this show on the road, playing banana ball with two professional teams, guys that throw in the 90s, have professional experience. We can't do that with our collegiate team.
Right, I got you. All right, so you're traveling around really selling the concept, and then at some point, I guess you would hope that they would be more than two teams, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, we're in a league of our own. We're just trying to make baseball fun. And if we can bring the game to more people, it's a win-win. If there is a league that does it, I mean, I'd be open to talking with them. But it's very unique. It's very different. It's about the show. It's about the fun. It's about the experience. Will a league take one of the rules? Maybe. I mean, batters should not be stepping out of batter's box. That's an easy one. There's other rules that could be taken. I think our goal is just to continue to take this show and show it to more people and see where it goes from there.
Jesse Cole's our guest, the founder of Fans First Entertainment. We're talking banana ball when we come back on the Rick and Bubba University podcast. All right, so Jesse Cole is with us. We've been talking about banana ball, and the question Bubba asked is the one that I was going to land on, and you've answered it. So you're not really seeing this as becoming its own league. You see this as our show is coming to your town. Come out and enjoy baseball. And I guess the only downside I see to what you're talking about, are you getting any complaints that people can't go to the bathroom? You've got so much going on. People go, well, and I used to go old baseball. I went to the bathroom as many times as I needed to and missed nothing.
What is the biggest stadium you've played in so far?
So, again, we've only been in Savannah. Obviously, this really launched during COVID. So we did our One City World Tour.
Right, I got you.
One City World Tour.
That's kind of banana ball-like.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, again, whatever's normal, do the exact opposite. And so we went to a One City World Tour, Mobile, Alabama, and we were fortunate to do in front of 7,000 fans. So 2 nights sold out. It was wild. And we've tested a lot of things. It's basically just, I think there needs to be more tests. Baseball has been going on for so long. Why aren't we trying new things? And I think MLB does these little tiny incremental things that no one even really knows what they're doing.
Right.
Sometimes you get to take some big tests. I mean, we had a halftime show in the middle of our game the other day. Like, that doesn't make any sense in a baseball game, but the fans loved it. It was very
There's your bathroom break, Rick. You've been eating.
There it is.
But you can't leave just because you want to see what that is.
Now I don't know what they're doing at halftime. I can't go. If I go to a football game, I don't want to watch the marching band. I'm going to the bathroom. There's no telling what Jesse's going to put out there. I don't want to miss it.
Jesse, I just like the idea that you're breaking this apart and looking at it different. Have you, as you sit around and brainstorm, have you thought about other sports, how you might help them out?
To be honest, not too much. I've been focused on this, but I think the starting point on any sport is always start with your fans. Every single night, someone on our staff goes undercover. I take off the yellow tuxedo sub games, park with the fans, walk in with the fans, sit with the fans, eat with the fans. I think so many businesses, so many sports teams, they're focused on, the short-term profits. They're focused on the corporate philosophies that they have. But, we're focused on long-term fans, and we're willing to throw away the short-term profits. A lot of this doesn't make sense. The fact that we eliminated all ad revenue from our ballpark and created the first ad-free stadium, throwing away hundreds of thousands of dollars, that doesn't make sense. But we don't believe anyone comes to our ballpark to be advertised to, sold to, or marketed to. They just want to have fun. The fact that all of our tickets are all-inclusive, that doesn't make sense because you can make more money selling a burger. So, that's not the best thing. But for us, in our fans first philosophy, it makes sense. So I have not thought about other sports teams. We're just still trying to figure it out here and try new things. But the fan response has been wild. And I think that shows that maybe people are ready for something different.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this, because now, here we go. Now my business mind has the switch has flipped. So you come in, you've only done one, so it's not like we on the road. And we got calls from people from Mobile that went to the game. They loved it. And so you're right. The product people love, but I hear you with this all-inclusive ticket. But I know that a lot of times if you go on the road and the first time you put together your full tour, will the concessions in these stadiums allow you to do that?
Yeah, we weren't able to do that on the road. So that's
okay.
You have to come to Banana Land to get the full Savannah Bananas experience. So Banana Land, that's everything's there. But when we go on the road, we're just going to bring the full pep band, the male cheerleading team, the breakdancing coaches. We also introduced a dancing umpire, which was pretty interesting to watch as well. Him calling a guy out and then doing a backflip was the fans were like, "What is happening right now?" And it was exactly how we wanted. And we had a guy walk up to bat in stilts. And he actually got beamed in the back, and everyone thought he was going to charge the mound, but he threw his bat triumphantly and got to first, and people celebrated him. So, people think it's a circus, and to agree, it is.
It is.
But we're okay with that. Who are you not for? We are not for baseball traditionalists.
Yeah,
that's not who we're for.
Did you ever see the classic movie with James Earl Jones, Bingo Long's Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings?
Very familiar with it, but I don't know if I ever sat down and watched the whole thing.
Because you really this is you. You actually are taking, and what they did is they were on the road doing semi-pro baseball and they added an entertainment element. But what you've done, and you hit it because you started out in minor league baseball. Minor league baseball seems to have the desire to do some fun marketing, but they still have the same game, and that's what you ran into. That was the problem.
There's red tape. Yeah, there's red tape. I mean, in minor league baseball, our players do a choreographed dance every night. Our players were doing Crazy in Love, Footloose, Hot in Her. I did the Her. I think I got it right. But they do those dances every game because our breakdancing coach teaches them a dance. You can't have players dancing in minor league baseball because they're owned by the major league team. You can't do that.
Right.
So we have no red tape. So if we got in an actual league, there'd probably be too much red tape. I wouldn't do too well with it.
But what if you created?
But what if you were the league?
Yeah, you're the league. What I'm saying is, and I'm not saying about getting crazy with it. And I'm saying you got two teams, and you're following the Globetrotters format. We're here ultimately to put on a show that features baseball. They put on a show that features.
But the outcome is not predetermined.
Yeah. Right. Either team
can. Bananas lost 2 of the 4 games. It's competitive,
Oh, what's the name of the other team?
The Party Animals.
The Party Animals. I mean, are you finding that there's certain now you're developing party animal teams? I mean, fans that people say, "I'll tell you what, I'm for the Party Animals."
Well, the Party Animals developed a unique characteristic about them. They actually literally jumped over the fence in outfield, throwing their bats as their introduction. They do push-ups after every single run scored. They have pizzas delivered to their dugout in the middle of the game. They have dumbbells where they're lifting dumbbells, and they shotgun energy drinks before they go up to bat. So they've developed their unique personality based on their team name. So there are Party Animals fans now, which is making it a little pretty interesting.
What about merchandise? I mean, can I get all of the banana Party Animal merchandise I want at the games?
There's a small section of Party Animals. We're still bananas through and through, but yes, when I see people wearing their crazy black and pink and neon green, I'm like, yeah, all right, that's fine. We'll deal with it. We'll grow with it.
But the merching, I would think the banana merchandise, that's another area that you might do well in. Do you offer merchandise and all that?
You want to hear a funny story? So when we first started and we named the team on February 25th, 2016, we had no idea what to expect with merchandise. And the first shipment of T-shirts came in a week earlier, and there were too many N's in bananas. So bananas was spelled wrong. So our first shipment of shirts we couldn't even sell. And then we announced the team, and for some crazy reason, it took off. The Savannah Bananas. It was #1 trending on Twitter, and so we started selling merch all over the world. But we were charging at that point $5 for shipping. So to ship to Australia and the UK, we were losing everything. It was terribly done. Now everything's free shipping, no matter what, domestic. And what's happened is, we're doing more merch every single day. We're doing international, hundreds of orders. And the bananas, from all the publicity, it's been really wonderful. And when people wear the banana shirt, I think they're thinking something crazy when they're wearing it.
All right, we'll come back. We're going to continue talking to Jesse Cole, founder of Fans First Entertainment, the Savannah Bananas and the Party Animals, hopefully, after we get on the other side of the pandemic, may be coming to a city near you. We'll be back with more of Rick and Bubba University, the podcast. All right, so let's talk a little bit. Bubba, we keep getting all these emails of people with – now the new thing with these Raycon wireless earbuds is it's now people want to show us how durable they are.
Oh, yeah.
We keep getting –
you don't have to do that, folks. Just enjoy them.
Yeah, just tell us they sound good and you like the way they fit. Now people are saying, tell you what, my kid left his in his blue jeans. We washed them, took them out. They're still working. That wasn't even part of the marketing, but thank you for that. Here's why you should get Raycon wireless earbuds. The durability, may be just a bonus, but here's the reason why. They're about half the price of what they're wanting to charge you for other earbuds that are out there. They don't look bizarre. You don't have anything hanging out of your ear. They fit comfortably and more discreetly, but also you're still getting the same quality. 6 hours worth of playtime on a charge. You also are getting the bass sound you want out of the music. You know, this podcast sounds great on it, maybe no matter what you're listening to. So, and again, so we're talking about half the price, but then we're sending you to raycon.com/RickBubbaPod. That's raycon.com/RickBubbaPod. And then there's an additional 15% off. And they really come in cool colors. You'll love them. The Rick and Bubba audience, I mean, now if you don't have a pair of the Raycon earbuds, really you're looked down upon inside the Rick and Bubba family.
That's right.
It is the item you must have. So get yours now. Buy raycon.com/RickBubbaPod. Buy raycon.com/RickBubbaPod for an additional 15% off. Welcome back to Rick and Bubba University, the podcast. Jesse Cole is our guest, the founder of Fans First Entertainment. He is an American entrepreneur, which we love, and now we have decided to help him to go to the next level. So Savannah Bananas, Party Animals, we've taken baseball, taken out all the boring parts. I will tell you, Bubba has a slight bone of contention about bunting. He still likes bunting for some reason. But you said,
but I'm not going to get hung up on
right.
that.
You're not hung up on
Yeah. I would just say if I had my druthers.
Yeah, maybe you do this, Jesse. I'm trying to get into your head that's covered in a bright yellow banana hat.
Yeah.
Is maybe you bring bunting in at some point, but you set the bat on fire.
Now you're speaking my language. I love it. Yeah, I see. That's the thing about when Banana Ball. I think we're going to evolve the rules. There will be new rules potentially added based on the fans' response. But yeah, the bunting, sorry about that, my friend. My dad when I was a kid, my dad used to say, swing hard in case you hit it. And that's kind of been a philosophy.
Well, as you peel the banana, things will change. And but, I asked earlier about the other sports because you have done what a lot of us have sit around and talked about on the back porch.
Yeah.
So rules we'd like to see changed in other sports. And, for instance, I've been involved in tennis for several years, and tennis is – and I'm just screaming, we got to change some things because they're dying in the stands, and they never know the match is over. And it just kills me because it is a fun sport to play and it's a fun sport to watch, but we have successfully made it as boring as it can be,
Well, it's a good question. When you look at those sports, you need to ask the questions on always from the fan perspective. Like that's how we look. So like Amazon, for instance, they said Jeff Bezos was asked, hey, what's going to change in the next 10 years in business? He goes, that's not the right question. What's not going to change? Mm-hmm. And fans are always going to want better prices, a wider selection, and more convenience.
Right.
And so for us, we asked, what's not going to change? Are fans ever going to want longer games?
Probably not.
Are fans ever going to watch more dead time? More slow action.
No.
So when you answer those questions, then you continue to push on that. And that's whether it's tennis, whether it's soccer, whether it's football, whatever it is, push on that. And then do the same thing from a viewing standpoint on maybe digital. Like we started our own streaming where we mic up players. We literally let our fans choose who's going to pitch during a game. And like this all happened because we started asking those questions. We have a drone that flies during the game, actually covering the footage, which the first game, the umpire ran off the field. He thought we were being attacked. I go, no, it's just our drone. We're good, guys. We're good.
That's great. So let me ask you this, Jesse, and if some of this you don't disclose, that's okay. But I'm trying to think if this continues to grow, like your first samples, people have taken the sample and they seem to love it, and it's doing well. Now we've only just begun because the pandemic limited you on what you could do, but we've only just begun. But our early indication is people like this. You've got to continue to have players that are going to fit the player you're looking for to do this. What is in it for the players? Do they get paid? Are they volunteer? How does that part work?
Yeah, so now they do get paid. This is professional in that sense. I don't like the word professional typically, but in that sense, yes. So we had a big tryout. It was really cool. Dallas Braden and Josh Reddick, major league player, former major league player, they paid for hotel rooms for the guys to come down here. And we had guys from all over the country come. And what I told the guys, I go, guys, most time when you get into minor league baseball, professional baseball becomes a job. You are competing against the person right next to you. This is an opportunity to play like you were as a kid, to have the flair, to show your personality, have fun, and you're going to get paid. and some really cool moments. I mean, we had one player who's a salsa dancer. We asked when they apply for us, we said, what entertainment?
What skills you got?
What skills, entertainment skills do you have?
It is a circus. It is a circus. That's exactly what P.T. Barnum would have asked.
Oh, well, again, I'm inspired by P.T. I've read every book about him, but this guy, Christopher Vasquez, he says, hey, Jesse, if you're cool with it, my first at bat, I'll come up and I'll do a salsa all the way to bat. I go, yes, you will. And of course, we film it, put it out on TikTok. We had other guys come up to bat with bananas. And so they had more fun. And at the end of the night, after the last game with a surprise fireworks show in Mobile, no one wanted to leave. Fans and players had their arms around each other. They're singing, the pep band's playing. And I was like, to me, as a guy who played college baseball and was bored and miserable, I would pay for that.
Yeah.
But we're hoping that we can pay even a lot more in the future.
Sure. So they do get compensation. This probably isn't enough for this to be their full-time job, right? It's
No, not with 4 games. I mean, our goal is to pay on a per game basis, and we want to pay more than minor leagues, and I think we will, and especially next year. So, but yeah, it can't be a full time. They just have to really want to join the circus for a month, a couple months, and see what happens.
Well, Jesse, if we're fans of this, but we're going, man, it's going to be tough to get to Savannah. How are we going to get to see this in action? How do we get you to come to our town on your next world tour?
That's a good question. And we're so fortunate. We asked our fans last year, where should we go? We heard from 300 cities in 15 countries. And I was like, sorry, Sydney, Australia. We're not going to be able to go to you guys in 2021.
Yeah,
it's a little tough. We're not there yet.
Yeah, the overhead a little high for that trip.
Yeah, that won't make it this year. But yeah, fans are reaching out and suggesting cities. And, we're probably going to do 4 new cities next year and then go to 8, then go to 12. And so if there's a lot of response from that city, we'll do it. And then we'll announce. And, we're fortunate in Mobile. The wait list joined to almost 4,000. We put tickets on sale and it sold out. So we'll build the list, and hopefully people will get to come out and have to see it. So I know you guys, we'll be back in your area at some point.
We would like to see you at the Hoover Met.
No doubt. Yeah, we got a nice setup. And this is a field that a minor league team left to go to a new one that was built. So it's sitting there needing something, and they still do the SEC tournament there, don't they, and all that. But still, it's a great facility. But let me ask you this. The things you're doing to help the game of baseball, I get the whole part of it being a show, and we can definitely relate to that. We used to have the Rick and Bubba softball team that would travel around like the Globetrotters, and we did similar to what you were doing. Is we played softball, but our deal was the kids do not come to see Rick and Bubba lose. So what we would do is our base coaches had grills at first and second base. So if we got on base, they'd give us a hamburger. And this guy, they were literally grilling during the game, and so you would have loved it. It was definitely your thing. So we did all that kind of stuff. But I was going to ask you this. I remember distinctly having 4 sons. Every single one of them that played baseball, guess when they loved it? When it wasn't traditional baseball. Mm-hmm. They loved T-ball. They loved coach pitch. They loved machine pitch. But every single one of them, when they got into the level of now the kid pitches to the other kid and the kids can't throw it over and there's multiple walks and the game slows down, every single one of them quit. And they quit because they were bored out of their minds. And they didn't enjoy the game. And so they started being drawn to other sports that had a little more action and moved a little quicker. And I think even in our area with one of my sons really got dialed in. Both of them did, but one of them to a high degree into lacrosse because he liked the movement of lacrosse. Everything's happening quick. You have free substitutions, and the game moved a lot quicker. And so I think what you're doing is important, and I think baseball has got to wake up because, kids, if the game doesn't change, you can hang on to all your traditions and be a purist.
Yeah.
But then you may go out of business because right now it just moves entirely too slow.
Well, yes. MLB should be asking the question, who are your future fans?
Yeah.
Right.
Because right now the average baseball fan for a Major League Baseball team is creeping into their 60s. And ESPN did a study of kids under 12, and they asked, who are your favorite athletes? And only in the top 100, I think there was 2 total baseball players, and they were way out in the 50s and beyond.
Yeah,
that's a problem. So, like for us, and again, coming from humble, and again, I want to preface this again. 5 years ago, my wife and I, on an airbed, only sold 2 tickets. But like it was bad. But right now, we have more TikTok followers than every single Major League Baseball team.
Wow.
If that's not saying something about the young fan base, and we're showing our players having fun and the dancing and the craziness, like that's who we're targeting. We're not the baseball traditionalists. We lose baseball traditionalists every year. They said, I'm not going to be a season ticket owner anymore. It's too crazy. It's too wild. It's too different. But we're getting young fans that are driving hours during the pandemic, which we were able to play. Crazy thing. The second game, a father and his wife and 3 kids came out to me and said, hey, thank you guys so much for this game. I go, oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. He goes, yeah, we just drove 40 hours from Utah for this game. We're driving 40 hours back tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
I go, you're crazy. I want to drive 40 minutes to go to something. But I think it's because it's not a traditional baseball game. It's something that you never know what's going to expect. And I think we all need more of that. And we're going to try to keep getting better and inventing new things for our fans. And I think MLB could do the same.
I got to have you go to 4 teams. I want 4 teams. I don't know. I mean, I don't have to have, you don't have to have 20-something teams, but there's something in me that wants
the competitiveness.
I want 4 teams, and I want 4 teams, and I want my team to be. I like that you're letting the party animals play. That it's not Globetrotters. That are pro wrestling. I love that.
Think about 2 ballparks going at one time.
Yeah, I'm saying that you got 2 teams going here, and you got 2 teams going there, and then you start developing what is your favorite banana ball team. Certainly, Savannah would have the most fan base to begin with, but you start dealing with this, and there's more merch to go with each team, and you don't get carried away. It's only 4, so it doesn't get out of hand. And you could even go as far as to bring all 4 to one city if you didn't like having 2 spread out. And say you can see all 4 of our teams play a doubleheader today or over the weekend. One plays Friday, one plays Saturday, one plays Saturday, one plays Sunday afternoon. I don't know why, Jesse. I want 4 teams. And, I mean,
I think you're starting one of the. I think literally you're going to be one of the founders of one of the teams. It sounds like.
I think you're right. I think you're right. You know what? I'm going to work with the Birmingham. We've had some pretty good. Every single professional football league that dies always puts a team in Birmingham.
Yeah, and it's the kiss of death.
Yeah, and then we get excited that we're.
But
actually,
the people turn out. The league ends up, buckling. That's the problem. It's not us.
No, I think banana ball in Birmingham, Alabama would be gigantic.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, so
it's on the list officially right now. I just put it on the list, guys.
Yeah, I think it's going to be big. We're going to come back. We're going to talk more with Jesse in our final segment here on the podcast.
And Rick, we come back. I want to put Jesse on the spot as we consider banana ball in other sports. I would like to know what Jesse would do to spice up golf.
Okay. I have a feeling golf's about to get a lot more dangerous. All right, we'll come back more with Jesse Cole on Rick and Bubba University, the podcast. All right, so we all do not like this feeling that we've lost our privacy when it comes to what we do on social media and the big tech companies, and they're bulldozing over this, and it starts to feel a little bit creepy. And you think to yourself, all right, well, I know all these gigantic multi-million-dollar companies don't charge anything. Where in the world does the money come from?
All right.
Well, I'll tell you where it comes from. They're tracking you and me, and they're taking our data and they're settling it off to people who then drop advertising on us. And
you are valuable to them.
But if you say, well, I really don't want my data being monetized by somebody without me saying that's okay, well, then you need to protect with ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN now makes you anonymous. Almost all of your online presence will be anonymous now because it hides your IP address. Your activity will be more difficult to trace and then sell off, as we said, to advertisers. What's more is ExpressVPN encrypts 100% of your data to protect you from eavesdroppers that just are trying to check out your network. And the ExpressVPN app, I know what the standard is when we say if something's easy, can Rick do it? Yes. It couldn't be easier.
How long does it take Rick to master
How long does it take Rick to do it? You just tap one button on your phone or your computer, and you're protected. So it's finally time to say no to censorship and take back your online privacy with the VPN that we trust. ExpressVPN.com/RickBubba. Just go to our link, and we'll get you an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN service for free. Again, that's ExpressVPN.com/RickBubba. ExpressVPN.com/RickBubba to protect your data today. Rick and Bubba University, the podcast, got about 10 more minutes left in this episode. We're talking with Jesse Cole. He's founder of Fans First Entertainment. He and his wife have developed another version of baseball with the Savannah Bananas and the Party Animals. And early on, this people are coming to this in droves. They've been interviewed all over. It's in its infancy, and we've talked about some of the rule changes he's made to baseball to make it a lot more fun. and move a little quicker. And, Bubba, you'd like to put his expertise to work other places.
Yeah, and Jesse, if you don't think we're not fired up about this, I just ordered 2 hats from you, okay, while we were doing that commercial. So I'm going to put you on the spot, and it's unfair because I know you specialize in baseball, but we're just playing the hey, what if game. What if you were in charge of golf? What would you change?
Well, for us, the lens we always use is what frustrates you about if you're your own either player or you're a consumer, what frustrates you. So for me, I struggle doing 18 holes. After 9, I've had enough. I'm good. 2 hours, I'm good. So immediately there's a problem there. But I look at speed again. Again, think about golf. It's slow. It's deliberate. You come up to it. Everything's quiet.
I don't like the quiet. I don't like the quiet.
I don't either.
Exactly. Well, that's why Waste Management's 16th hole has thousands of people at it, because it's a party. All right. So whatever frustrates you, do the exact opposite. Whatever's normally the exact opposite. So what I would do is I would think of speed golf. So I immediately think about speed golf. And again, you say, well, you got to take your time. Well, people can evolve and learn how to not step out of the batter's box and be ready to hit. Right. People can learn how to come up and hit balls quickly. So what's speed golf look like? I don't know. Could you have a 2-person team? Could you have one person halfway in the fairway? They hit it, then the other person goes, then the next person got to get up there. I mean, are these ways that you could look at golf to say it's more than like you hit it, you got to run. Like it's based on how you get it in, but also the time it takes you to get it in. And now you're watching 2 things at once, not just, oh, that was a good swing, or like now you're watching the clock. Is he going to beat the other person, the other team, or the other person? Those are questions I would ask.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, and we think trash talking should come to golf. I mean, we really think somebody gets up and play and say, "Hey, come on, hey, don't choke."
But the thing, Jesse's always strange to me, and we have this in tennis too, to a degree, that when we played basketball, people did cheers, they kicked the bleachers, but everybody gets quiet for you in golf. I mean, I think we ought to make noise.
Trash talk. Let the crowd holler.
There should be music. There should be bands at every hole. There should be it should be a party atmosphere. Well, think about it from a fan perspective. Oh, great swing. I'll go watch someone else take another great swing. Like, what is different about every hole? What is exciting? I make every hole a new experience. So there's experiential, and then there's also changing the rules.
Yeah,
they can win on the experience first, and then the rules come next.
So
that's kind of how
you're saying there should not be a sport that you would tell your doctor, I think my blood pressure would be better if you'd come take my blood pressure at this sport. It should be the opposite. Right. I should be in a frenzy. I shouldn't be going, I think I'll go watch that so I can relax.
Well, you get fired up. I mean, look at soccer fans in Europe. Look at even baseball in Korea. So they're standing. Sports should not be a spectator sport. It should be a sport that you feel a part of.
Well, soccer needs some work on it.
Yeah, you're going to have to work on soccer. We want to set the ball on fire.
Yeah, it's just too much kicking and nothing's happening.
And the field's too big. Let's bring it in. There's too much room.
I'm with you on all that. But the thing is, the fans are into it. And so that's different. What's crazy, I don't understand. The fans are like, they march into the stadium. So I think there's things you can take from each sport, but make it faster, make it more exciting, and don't be afraid to go against the traditions, the way things have always been done, especially now.
Jesse, think about. Let me ask you what you think about this. Like in golf, they call a sand trap a hazard. That's really not a hazard. That's sand.
Yeah.
What if Terry Tate office linebackers guarding the green?
Yes.
1,000%.
You love that.
Real hazard.
All right, we got about 6 minutes left. Let me ask you this: has there been any feedback from the fans that say, now this particular thing we didn't like?
You went too far.
Did you have anything that anybody says has gone too far yet?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, from the beginning with us, with our we sell Dolce and Banana underwear. Most teams sell T-shirts and hats. We actually have underwear with a big banana on the crotch.
Yes.
And so we first got pushed back on that. Then we started giving away colon cleansings, porta-johns. We play games in kilts. We get lots of pushback on some of the crazy things.
But as far as the rules, not the rules, though?
The rules, I think the showdown's still confusing to some people. And I think the walk, from what we hear, our players didn't throw as many strikes as they want. So if you have lots of those sprints, okay, it gets kind of redundant. It's still a sprint. So those are the areas that we need to walk. And yes, some people love bunting, and we don't bunt.
Right. Well, but again, you're open to the idea.
I'm flexible on that one. You don't want. It's not a deal buster.
Well, what he's saying is he doesn't want to become the very thing that he's fighting against. That's the problem. The frustration we get with Major League Baseball is they're not open to some suggestions of change. You're open to that.
Oh, yeah. There will be a new rule next year that's added. I mean, we'll evolve. We'll make the showdowns better. I mean, again, whatever can provide more action in the game, whatever can provide people to say, I don't want to miss something, we will always try.
It sounds like you probably want to work on getting some better pitchers so you can throw more strikes.
No, that's number one. Seven of our guys were in the low to mid 90s. So we had pro guys, but with all the adrenaline, their first time playing in front of big crowds again, they were not in the zone like they should have been.
You know what you need to say? Don't make me go get a pitching machine. Because you know what? You're not above that. I can see that. Now, let's face it. When your kids played that part, you knew the ball's going to be put in play a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that
if they set the machine up right, we're going to see the bat swung.
100%.
But I guess in this case, though, these batters are so good, it would be one home run after another if you had some machine just throwing it right to grooving it.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we had some interesting characters. We had a power lifter on our team. We had a former police officer. So there were pro guys and also some guys that were, doing different things. So hopefully,
I love that too. Like, hey, how about this? Come try out. We might put you on the team if you could be a character.
Well, the player that tried out only played high school baseball, but he comes to me in the middle of the tryout. He goes, "Hey, I brought my stilts and my unicycle." I go, "You brought your what?" He goes, "Well, I go on stilts and unicycle too." And I go, Can you hit in the stilts?" He goes, "I never have." I go, "Well, take batting practice. If it goes well, you'll make the team."
Now we got to get
practice, hit the ball into the outfield. You better believe he made the team.
We got to have a bigger cage.
It's like Jerry Maguire. You had me at stilts. You had me at stilts. If you can make that work, then by golly, you're on the team.
That's good.
And that's fantastic. Now, also, Jesse also hosts the Business Done Differently podcast. So if I want to find that, and this is you interviewing some of the world's leading entrepreneurs and authors and speakers that think out of the box, right?
Yeah, we're trying to continue to learn from outside of our industry. I think that's where the best lessons come from. So yeah, I bring in people that are doing things really different in other businesses and then learn from it and share that as well.
Who's been one of your best guests you had on?
Everyone goes to Duncan Wardle, the former head of innovation for Walt Disney World. He has some amazing ideas, a lot of inspiration from him. And then another one was the Magic Castle Hotel, the CEO of that, Darren Ross, the crazy things they're doing with their old school hotel in California.
Well, I want to ask you this too before we let you go. So the future, what is the next thing? Has it gotten to the point you think you can do these cities? You said you were going to try 4. Are you waiting to see, or are we going to do 4 for sure?
Yeah, we published our vision publicly last fall of the idea of saying, why is baseball just a sport that plays just during the summer? Why can't we be year round? Why can't we play at any point? Why couldn't we have New Year's Eve games, Christmas games, Halloween games? Why not? And so as we continue to evolve, yes, the future banana ball will be big in the spring, and we might even have a banana ball fall World Series in Savannah. But banana ball in the spring on the road, fall World Series, still have our collegiate team, the real baseball, as some people would say, and then continue to evolve that. And I think, again, just how can we bring it to more people? Because it's the most fun I've ever had on a baseball field. I played my whole life. I've been a part of teams, but watching what happens every night is unbelievable.
Can you share anywhere that might see a game? Can you break any news here?
Come on, Jesse. I mean, there's only going to be probably, I don't know, maybe 15,000 that hear this and then watch it on YouTube, probably 30,000 people. It's not like we're going to tell anybody.
So we narrowed it down to 5 last year. And so those cities, and I don't know if they're going to make this list, but there was New Orleans because they lost a team. There was Daytona. Johnson City had a lot of interest. And I think actually crazily, College Station in Texas had a lot of interest. Those were 5. And now there's a lot more throughout the Southeast that have really reached out. So we will stay in the Southeast within probably 10, 12 hours next year, and then we'll expand from there.
And is that mainly because of growing the sport? I mean, there's travel to consider, and it's a lot of overhead getting that many people from city to city.
We took 100 people to Mobile. I mean, you're talking our whole pep band, our whole male cheerleading team, all of our characters, both teams, all of our staff. It's a lot. The Globetrotters just take their, 20 people max. We're taking 5 times what the Globetrotters are take to put on a show.
Yeah.
So the flying or the very long bus trips don't work the model yet. Hopefully soon.
So, and do you just lease? I mean, you're not to the point you have your own buses yet. You just lease those based on
you better believe at some point we'll have a banana bus.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
Yellow, beard out, yes, but not yet.
I can see it sitting outside the stadium. Just declaring it's a fun zone.
Yeah. Well, we have a Savannah Banana, a 1960s decked out bananas Banana, but that can only handle a couple people. So we got to get the big bus soon.
That's right.
And look, you've seen the Wienermobile from Oscar Mayer. What about one that's just a banana?
That needs to happen, and right here, if it happens, I'm letting you know first. You'll get in it.
I mean, you know what? You throw out there, hey, when you get here, gates open, just report to the giant banana.
The giant banana.
Yeah,
Exactly.
are you doing anything pregame wise or anything like that too? Do you have a lot going on? I guess different promotions in the stands and all that.
I mean, guys, we do. Well, we have a pregame march while the fans are waiting in line with all of our characters, big dance, big song.
Okay.
But then we also started doing this year weigh-ins, like UFC Boxing Weigh-Ins. So we take one player from the party animals, one player from the bananas. They come out, rip their shirts off. They start flexing. The last game, a guy came out with just the banana underwear, and he's flexing 252 pounds from Pensacola, Florida. And we announced it and said, "Are you ready to rumble? It's time for Banana Ball." Makes no sense, but the fans love it.
That is funny.
Well, Jesse, thanks for taking time to be on with us. And, of course, you can find out everything you want to know by going to thesavannahbananas.com. All that is there, and find out everything you possibly ever want to know and start looking for opportunities for a banana ball to be coming to your city. Jesse, thanks for being with us.
Jesse, thank you.
Thanks. You guys are rock stars. Appreciate you.
Yeah, and thanks to all of you for joining us on this edition of Rick and Bubba University, the podcast.